Good morning. It is our weekly class at 11 o'clock. I'm excited for you to join me. This is our last week or few days left of the month, and we are going to finish up this elephant trunk pose. So I am going to have you meet me on the mat, and let's go ahead and start an easy seated pose. Just give me a moment to turn the phone around, and I will get us all started. So here we go. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and come into Sukhasana, that easy seated pose. And what I want you to do today is go ahead and stagger the heels. And let's push our fingertips into the earth and lift our chest to the sky. And as this happens, just release the arms, sitting up nice and tall. Imagine a string is attached to the top of your head and it's pulling you to the sky. So we have this long, beautiful spine. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. If not, take a soft gaze to the tip of the nose. But wherever you're at, just start to bring ease into the mind and the body. Taking this time to relax, to let go of our thoughts and our to-do lists, and just be in this moment. Our mind moves very quickly. Thoughts may be popping in and out. But I want you to imagine those thoughts like books. You're going to close those books and set them up on the shelf, knowing that you can always deal with them later. Start to notice the sit bones connected to the earth. The belly may be drawn in to keep you lifted tall. Feel the breath moving through the nose. Where can you soften just a little bit more to bring ease in this moment? Start to move the breath deeper into the body. Feel like the body is a balloon, and as you take these deep breaths, the body expands in all directions. And as you start to exhale, you feel the body, the belly, pulling in even tighter to push that stale air out of the bottom of the lungs. Take a little pause at the end of the inhale, and then take your exhale. At the end of your exhale, take a little pause. Refill the body. Pause. Exhale it out. Pause. Continue that inhale, pause, exhale, pause. But find this deeper breath and move it at your own pace. Notice what's happening. When you take the pause, can you notice if you're tightening anywhere? Are you clenching the teeth? Can you let your exhale last longer than your inhale? Let's take 2 more deep breaths just like this. Take an inhale to release your hands in front of the body. And as you exhale, start to walk your hands forward, keeping your sit bones connected to the earth. And either stay here or let your elbows come down to the earth, pushing back so your sit bones stay glued to the mat. And let your head and neck relax. One more deep breath here. Then walk your hands back into the body. Take a moment to change that lead leg. And then again, sit up tall first, keeping your hands in front. And then lower or walk your hands out or lower down to your forearms. But if you're tipping your bottom off the mat, push back into the hands or push into your elbows to keep your sit bones glued to the mat. And again, let your head and neck release. Still taking those deep, relaxing breaths, filling the body with air. And then exhaling to press all the air out. One more deep breath here. Walk the hands back into the body. Inhale to sit up tall, sweep the arms up to the sun. Exhale the hands down. Inhale, circle up to the sky. Exhale, hands down and through. One more time. Inhale, circle, sweep to the sun. Exhale, let the hands rest at the heart center. My theme for you this month has been a quote by Les Brown. We tell ourselves that when it gets hard, or when we know it's hard, we'll make it. So be kind, be patient. Whether this journey is on the mat or in your daily life, we will make it. Find yourself being the student of your body through the practice. Listen to what your body needs and allow it to adjust for each movement. It is not about what I can do, it's about what you need today. Let's take that sound of Om, a nice big inhale. If the eyes are closed, gently blink the eyes open, coming into the present. And let's go ahead and just take a little brief warm-up right here and seated. So I'd like you to do is go ahead and come into Baddha Konasana, bound angle. And you may notice that your knees may be up really high. If that's where you're at today, if you have some blocks or props, feel free to take them under the knees, whatever height you may need. This will help relax the hips. Hold your ankles and go ahead and circle around. If you don't want the support of the blocks, go ahead and move them out of the way. It is always optional on what you do for your body. Go ahead and go one more time around, and then we change directions. Take it 2 more times here. And then bring yourself back to center. Sit up nice and tall. From sitting up nice and tall, I want you to extend that left leg out nice and long. Inhale, reach up to the side. And exhale, hinge forward. Scrape your fingers along the mat and then sweep up to the sky. And exhale, hinge forward. 2 more times. Sweep up to the sun. And exhale, reach. 1 more time. Sweep up to the sky. Exhale, reach forward and hold. 5. And 1. Rise up nice and tall. Release the arms and exchange legs. Take the right leg out. Tuck the left leg in. Make sure you're not on an angle. Turn your belly button to aim towards the knee so our hips and shoulders are stacked. Then again, inhale, rise up. Exhale, stretch forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, reach. So these circles with the arms. 2 more times. And on that last one, rise up and then hinge forward and hold. 5. Gently rise up on your inhale and release the arms on an exhale. Go ahead and take the left leg out on an angle. So it's not about how wide out to the side the leg can go. Maybe it needs to be closer and that's your angle. This depends on your hips. But let's leave our hand on the earth outside our thigh. Inhale up. Exhale, stretch to the side. Inhale over to the other side. So just this tick-tocky side stretch. 1 more time each direction. And now this one, take the stretch over to the left and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise up. Change legs, extend the right leg out. And again, if one side feels a little tighter, move the leg in a little bit more. Or go ahead and sit up for that TikTok. Inhale, rise up. Exhale into the stretch. Try to keep your thighs heavy to the mat or prop underneath that left knee. Keep moving, breath with movement. And let's hold that stretch over to the right. Holding here, seeing how much you can really reach away. And then rise up nice and tall. I want you to go ahead and bring the legs in and stay this direction. What I want you to do is a little twist. So some of us will take our hands to our shin and just turn our shoulders. Others, you're going to take your elbow across and look over that right shoulder. Come back to center. Again, a little twist with just the shoulders, or come all the way across and then rotate around. And then back to center. I want you to make your way into table pose, coming to all fours. So as we make our way into table, if you are tight in your hamstrings and you need your hands on the blocks, this lifting up can give you a little more ease in the hamstrings. If that is not something you need today, just take the blocks out of the way. Let's first move into our cat and cow. So opening the hands up, shoulder width apart, knees open, hip width apart. Let's exhale into cat pose. And inhale, arch and lift into cow. So exhale, round the back. Inhale, arch the back. Continue to move at your own pace through your cat and cow. 2 more sets. As you come back into your table pose after finishing, make sure you're not sinking in your shoulders. You're pushing the floor away and you're pushing into your shins. Some of you may have your toes turned under. Feel free to push into your toes. Now let's work spinal balance, right arm with the left leg. So as we extend out nice and long, we try and keep our pinky toe aiming to the mat so our hip bone stays aiming to the earth. And return the hand and knee. Extend the left arm with the right leg. Same thing, pinky toe aiming to the mat. Return hand and knee. Continue to move. Your inhale is to extend. Your exhale is to come back to the mat. Find the pace that works for you. Make sure your heel stays hip height or lower in order to maintain that neutral spine, so your back isn't arching. You may be finding you're gripping the mat with the tips of your fingers, so we're not putting so much pressure into the wrists. And I want you to take this one more time each side. Now let's set up for a move I call cat dance. Let's extend the right arm with the left leg, warming up through the abs a little bit more. Exhale, tuck to bring the elbow in. Inhale, reach out long. This is where pressing into the hand and the shin can help you find balance. Either push through the heel or push through that big toe, pointing nice and long. 2 more. Holding here, then return the hand and knee. Now let's extend the left arm with the right leg, reaching nice and long, then exhale, tuck, inhale, reach. Exhale. This one you have to be careful of that heel. Make sure it is not kicking higher than that hip. 2 more. Last one. Return the hand and knee to the mat. Take a pause here and just lower down onto your forearms. As we lower onto our forearms, I want you to place your hands on the earth. As you do that, rise up. And from here, what I want you to do is lift the palm of your right hand lower, palm of the left. Right, left, right, left. Now move your hands underneath your shoulders. It's going to get more intense. We want to feel the warm up through our forearms. Here we go. Right, left. Notice I'm not tenting up onto my fingertips. I need you to keep your fingers down on the mat. Here we go. Lift and lift. Lift. Now, those of you that want more of a challenge, lift both palms up and down. Our thumbs are staying on the mat as well as our fingers. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We feel that burn. Some of us will sit back onto our heels and shake it out. Others will stay here and just shake out from here. All right, let's warm up those wrists. So what I want you to do is go ahead and turn your fingertips out to the edges of the mat. And just sway from side to side without your palms coming off the mat. Now, if you want, you can move your hands in closer. And again, sway side to side. We're not lifting our palms. And then come back to center. Take your right hand, send it forward. Take your left hand, send it to your knee. Holding here or rocking back and forth. So we were swaying side to side. Now we're going to sway back and forth. Again, the palm of your hand does not leave the mat. Pause. Turn your left fingertips back around. Your right fingertips to your knees. Try to have your wrists aligned so your shoulder, elbow, wrist stack. And again, rock back and forth. If this rocking back and forth doesn't feel good, just stay right here. So what feels best for you today? One more rock back and forth. And release. Take this and flip your right palm up to the sky and press the back of your hand to the mat. Notice how my pinky and my thumb are anchored to the mat. But I'm stacked, shoulder, elbow, wrist. You can rock back and forth from here, but again, we're not peeling that back of the hand off the mat. It's still staying down. One more rock back and forth. Release, pick the left hand up, turn the palm up. Back of the hand is on the mat. Fingers are pressing into the mat as we rock back and forth, or we hold. You decide what you need. Resting a lot in the wrists as we warm them up, but this elephant trunk pose is going to require that strength. And go ahead and release, shake it out. And let's go ahead and send our hips back to our heels into Child's Pose, Balasana. Feel free to release the forehead towards the mat. Start to walk your fingertips out nice and long. Tita Balasana, extended Child's Pose. And let's inhale forward to kneeling plank and give me that yogi push-up. Exhale, half crocodile. Inhale, press up, kneeling plank. Exhale, float back. So we come forward, weight is in the hands. We exhale, elbows into ribs. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hinge back. Let's take this a little deeper. 8-point press. Inhale, forward, kneeling plank. Turn toes under. Come to that half crocodile. Keep your bottom up in the air and try and bring your chest and chin to the mat. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, sink back. One more time. Forward to chest over thumbs. Either half crocodile and hold or bring it all the way down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hinge back. Keep this hinge back, but lift your head and look to your thumbs. Press your hands into the mat to send your hips back towards your heels. This is going to require this leg strength. We're coming into half down dog. So now look to your knees and start to lift your knees off the mat and then slowly lift and hold. So we're in this half dog with our knees still bent. Then I want you to straighten the right leg and then bend that knee. Straighten the left leg. So keep that right knee nice and bent and then bend the knee. One more time each side. Straighten the right leg. And bend the knee. Try to keep your shoulder blades pulling away from your ears like they're wrapping underneath your arms and you're hugging your triceps. Now bend both knees. Stay here or slowly start to extend those legs. Come up high onto the tiptoes and then slowly melt your heels down towards the mat. In this moment, take the time to shake your head yes and no. Then bend your knees, look to your thumbs, and walk your feet forward to your hands coming into forward fold. Let your head hang like a chandelier. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten the the chest. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We rise up to the sun. Exhale, hands into the heart center. So let's move through our sun salutations. The first round is kneeling. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend knees for kneeling lunge and send that right knee back as you look forward. Lengthen the body. Take the left knee into kneeling plank, but shift your chest over thumb. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale, forward to kneeling plank. Turn toes under for 8-point press. Exhale, chest and chin to the mat. So we have chest, chin, hands, knees, toes. Inhale, cobra. Release the toes, scoop the chest through so the hips come down. Elbows stay bent. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale to send that right foot forward to kneeling lunge. Help that foot so the knee and ankle restack, and then look forward. Exhale, step into fold. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend our knees and send the left knee back for kneeling lunge, looking forward. Stay connected to that breath. Release into kneeling plank, chest over thumbs. Float back to child's pose. Let's set up for 8-point press. Inhale forward, turn toes under. Exhale down, chest, chin, hands, knees, toes. Inhale, scoop to cobra, elbows stay bent. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale the left foot forward to that kneeling lunge. Look straight ahead. Exhale, step into fold. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. So you can stay with this kneeling version or progress on. Reach to the sun. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift and fold. Send that right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Look forward. Step to plank or kneeling, chest over thumbs. Come into down dog or child's pose. Set up for 8-point press. First come into kneeling plank and then release chest and chin. Scoop through up dog or cobra. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Draw the right foot forward to lunge or kneeling. Look forward, lengthen the body as you push through those heels. Step into fold. Rise up to the sun. Hands come into heart. Rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift and fold. Send that left foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Push through the heels. Step to plank or kneeling, chest over thumbs. Down dog or child's pose. Forward to kneeling plank and then lower to that 8-point press. Scoop through up dog or cobra. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Left foot floats forward, lunge or kneeling. Right foot into fold. Rise up to the sun. Hands come into heart. One more time each side. Here we go. Rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift and fold. Send your right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Left foot back to plank or kneeling. Down dog or child's pose. Forward to kneeling plank. Down to 8-point press. Scoop up dog or cobra. Hinge back. Down dog or child's pose. Right foot floats forward to lunge or kneeling. Left foot comes in as we fold. Rise up to the sky. Hands lower to the heart. Again, rise and fold. Halfway lift and fold. Send the left foot or knee back to lunge, lengthen the body. Right foot back, plank or kneeling, chest over thumb. Come into down dog or child's pose. Forward to kneeling plank so you can release to 8-point press or half crocodile. Scoop through up dog or cobra. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Left foot floats forward to lunge or kneeling, lengthen body. Step into forward. Rise to the sky. Hands come to the heart. Just take a pause here. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale, let it out. One more time. Stand tall. Find yourself rooting through the soles of the feet. Equal balance into both feet. Belly drawn in so we feel the power of this hold. As we make our way into standing airplane, inhale, rise to the sky. Looks like an upside down L. Exhale, hinge halfway. So offering yourself into this flat back. Some of us may have to be a little higher, or we even have to bend our knees. But as we shift the weight over our arches, we don't want to be back into our heels. Notice the hips are behind the heels now. We want hips, knees, and ankles to stack, reaching the arms outside the hips. Floating into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, send the left foot back, keeping your feet open, hip width apart, and rise up to the sky. And you're welcome to stay right here, first anchoring into the soles of the feet. Feel the left pinky side of your foot anchored to the mat. So we don't want to roll. We want both feet flat on the mat. Then let's take this little bow. Exhale, hover over your thigh. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, hover. Bring the palms together as we rise back up. Exhale. Inhale. Take this 2 more times. As we rise up, let's press for pyramid. Straighten the leg. Keep your hips aiming straight ahead as you tip over that thigh. Now it's with a flat back, and the leg is straight. Be careful of grounding. You want to lengthen. Hands to the thigh, the shin. Feel free to grab your blocks for support, but just allow yourself to release here. As we set up for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, bend the knee. Send your hands forward like you're making a triangle with your hands to your foot and rise up. If you need your blocks, use your blocks. Why not bring the floor closer to you? You can stay here or start to float the left hand to the hip as it opens and stacks, or you can take that left hand to the sky. Some of you, I will invite you to either hold the ankle or without pulling the left shoulder down, can you bring the hands to the heart? All is optional. What can you do? Let's release into crescent or high lunge. So as the left foot goes back, we rise up to the sky. This lengthening, push out the heel, feel your glute tighten while you're here. Then let's take it into a twisting prayer. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, left elbow to the right. Then push into your hands and spin your wrists. Take a pause here. And let's set ourselves up into this twisting curtsy squat. Bring your right hand to your thigh, your left hand forward. And then pull the left knee behind the right. Stay in the right heel, and then pull that right arm to the side. Hug your right hip in and back. Floating into Warrior 2. Windmill around to open up. So front knee is bent, back leg is straight. Adjust your stance. Take your hands to your hips. Are you sassy? Are you twisting? If that is all the case, Try to turn your hips back to the center, to the long edge of your mat. If that doesn't work, maybe you need to stagger your feet or bring your stance in a little bit more. The longer you hold, the more you'll just settle into the pose. Reach the arms out nice and long. Finding ourselves moving into Trikonasana, triangle, straighten the leg. Reach over that thigh and slowly tip your hand to thigh, shin, or wherever it takes you. I want you to notice you're pushing into the big toe mound. Feel the arch activate just a little bit more. As we glide into side angle, it's a bend of the knee, forearm to thigh, and a nice big stretch here. Find where you feel most power. Moving into reverse warrior, keep those hips neutral, stretch back. So just like we did in half straddle in our warm-up, where we tick-tock, let's do the same thing. Inhale to side, exhale, reverse. Inhale. This is always optional. You can hold in side angle for a count of 3, and then you can hold in reverse for a count of 3. But I need you to give me 2 more here. As you come back into warrior 2, make your way into standing straddle, and then hinge to straddle forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. Head hangs, look through the legs. Maybe you need to support yourself on your thighs, your shins, your ankles, whatever feels best. I want you to walk over to that right foot and step into plank. Lower to crocodile. Lift to up dog. Hinge back. Hold down dog. Looking at your feet, walk your hands back to your feet. Come onto the tips of your fingers if you can. If you need your blocks, grab them, right? And use your blocks. Inhale, lift up onto your tiptoes. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, lower. Or the hands are flat. Rock up onto the balls of the feet. Come back down. Rock up onto the balls of the feet. Come back down. Take a nice deep squat here. And some of you, I just want you to rock and roll between your hands and your feet. Remember, we're not pushing our hands flat. We're taking a little grip, like we're palming a basketball, rocking back and forth. For those of you that want to take Bakasana, crow pose, you're welcome to come into this arm balance, pulling the heels together and then lifting them towards your glutes, looking forward of your fingers. And then we come down. Come wherever you're at, make your way into Uttanasana forward. If you'd like a little release, bend your knees, take your chest onto your thighs. Coming into gorilla, this is a nice release for those wrists. Stand on your feet. Wiggle your feet across your hands. Try and get your toes to touch your wrists. If you're standing on your fingertips, this does not help at all. We want all the way underneath. That's why I need you to bend your knees as much as you can, or you don't have to take your hands under your feet at all. Straighten your legs if you'd like. When you're ready, release the hands from under the feet. Inhale, rise up to the side. And on an exhale, simply turn and face the other direction. If you don't want to turn around and face different directions on your mat, you don't have to. What feels best for you? We stand tall, equal pressure into both feet, opening the chest. If you turn your palms, for those of you that have slouchy shoulders, this may help you open, but it may feel very tight there, so determine where you want those hands to go. Let's make our way into standing airplane. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hinge to that flat back, draw the chest forward, so our weight is over our arches instead of back into the heels. Remember, we want that alignment. Hands outside those thighs. Slight bend in the knees if you need it. Floating into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Let's keep the left foot where it's at and step the right foot back. Rise up to the sky. Your mighty warrior rising out of the earth. Find the foundation first. Your feet are anchored to the mat, especially the pinky side of your right. Your left knee is bent. Feet are open, at least hip width apart, so you have the stability for let's go ahead. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise up, palms touch. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise. Do you feel that belly pulling in nice and tight to offer you more stability? 3 more times. Last 2. Last 1. You rise back up to set up for pyramid. Straighten the leg, Parsvottanasana. Squeeze your inner thighs like we just put the block between your legs and hinge over that left leg. Hands to thigh, shin. Remember, blocks. Some of us may have to bend our knee for a little ease in that knee or that hamstring. Others are going to stretch knee. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward. Still equal pressure into both feet. Try not to sink into this right leg. Keep the pressure between both. Let's set up for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. If you have your blocks when you bend your knees, move your blocks forward, create that triangle. Then rise up with the right leg. Now your right hip may be aiming to the floor. You can keep it there or start to lift the right hand and pull that hip on top of the left. Stay here or take the hand up to the sky. Now, best balance is to look to the floor. Make it a little more challenging, look out to the side or up to the thumb. Those of you that want to stay here but add the challenge of hand to the ankle, or without this right shoulder pulling you to the floor, can you bring your hand to the heart for your hands? Let's make our way into crescent or high lunge. Release the right foot back, rise up nice and tall. If you need to be on your knee, come down to your knee. There's no rule on what I'm doing means you have to do it. I want you to find what works for you. Let's set up for twisting prayer. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, right elbow towards left. Hug your left hip in and back. As we set up for this twisting curtsy, take your left hand to your thigh for support. Bring your right hand forward. It has to be forward. Shoulder, elbow, wrist will stack. Pull the right knee behind the left. Sit into the left heel. Left arm up to the side. Try to keep your foot flat. Weight into that left heel. Release into warrior 2. Opening up. Now adjust your feet once you rise. This is your foundation. Reach nice and long. Notice the hips. Sassy. Twisty, try to keep them under the shoulders. Let's straighten the legs, setting up for Trikonasana triangle. Big stretch here, then a slow tip. Hand to thigh, shin, a block, the earth. Doesn't matter if your hand goes in front or behind, what feels best for you. Let's move into side angle. Bend the knee back over the ankle, and then stretch that arm and open the chest. Coming into reverse warrior, we tuck and make sure we're stretching away. Now you can stay here for 3 breaths. Otherwise, inhale the side, exhale reverse. Inhale side. If you're still holding reverse, now make your way into side angle and hold that for 3 deep breaths. Side and reverse. 2 more sets. From this reverse, I want you to rise into warrior 2, but coming to standing straddle. Then fold to the earth into straddle fold. If your hands were under your shoulders, why not reach them through your legs? Feel yourself pulling through the legs. When you release, walk over to that left foot and step into plank. Either stay in plank or power vinyasa. Lower to crocodile. Scoot to up dog. Hinge back. Hold down dog. If you need your blocks, walk them back towards you. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Again, we're up onto the tips of our fingers. We rise up onto our tip toes. Even if you need to do this with bent knees, that's fine. So we lift and we lower. Lift and lower. Then we can take our hands flat for some of us. Lift the heels, lower. Lift the heels, lower. One more time, lift and lower. This time, lift the heels, bend the knees, and come into a half toe balance. So you're kind of balancing on the toes, but we have our hands for support. But again, I want you to rock forward and back, forward and back. If you want to keep rocking, go right ahead. If you want to set up for Bakasana, crow pose, take yourself there. My challenge for some of you is to take it from crow into headstand. So you're going to have some time to play before we move on to the last half of our flow. So for those of you that are in crow, start to lower your head towards the earth. Start to pull your heels in and maybe raise the legs up. You're like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that today, then don't. Maybe you're in child's pose right now. What feels best for your body? Wherever you're at, we meet in child's pose. It's not the moments of us telling ourselves, I can't do this. It's the moments where we try. What can we do? It's the moment of knowing that we're letting go of the ego and we're saying, today I just want to relax. I just want to go into child's pose. It's not saying, oh, because I've done it then, I can do it now. It's what does your body need today in this present moment? So I want you to make your way back into your down dog. And then walk your hands towards your feet, coming into forward fold. Let the head hang like a chandelier. As we rise up to the sun, we bring our hands to our hips. And from here, I want you to just bring your right foot stays where it's at, your left knee is going to come up. And what I want you to do is press your left heel out, and then lower the heel down towards the earth. Then rise it up as high as you can, holding the hips, making sure they're not shifting. Lower the heel down. 2 more times. Lift up and release. Lift up and release. Step the foot in. We're going to take the same thing on the other side. Left foot is the anchor. Pull the right knee up. Try not to let the knee come higher, even though some of you can. We want to keep in line with the hip. Shoulders down, chest lifted, press the heel out. Watch the hips. They may want to shift to compensate. Then lower the heel down. Keep your legs straight this time, or as straight as you can. Rise back up. Lower down. Are you rounding forward to get the leg to lift? Try to stay tall. Lift. And lower down. If you're throwing the leg up, like I did that, don't do that. Take it slow. Lift up. It's not a rocket kick line. So here we go. Lift up and lower down. Step the foot in. Good, very nice. What I want you to do is go ahead and step open nice and wide into your standing straddle. And then from here, take the arms out. So we did standing airplane. Let's take it into straddle airplane. Hinge and bring your chest over your mat. Push into the outer blades of the feet. And this time I want you to interlace your fingers, draw the knuckles away from your body. your hands to your thighs, turn your right toe out, and float over to the earth or stay on the thigh. And just sink deeper here, but we're not lifting our toes this time. Push into the outer blade of the foot. Push that knee open. Come back up. Turn your foot back in. Open the arms out nice and wide. Straddle, standing airplane. Hinge to that flat back. Pull your chest forward. Interlace the fingers. Draw the knuckles away. Take your hands to your thighs. Turn the left toe out. Float over to the left thigh or down to the earth. And again, keep your pinky side of your right foot sealed to the earth. Keep your bottom up in the air. I want you to feel that inner thigh. Now walk all the way over to that right foot and meet me in three-legged dog. Flex the foot, bend the knee, roll the hip open. And as we set up for tiger pose, bring your left knee to the mat. And some of you may stay right here. Some of you are going to pick that left arm up and reach back for the foot, looking over your shoulder. As you release, let's meet in cow face. Take your left foot across, take your right leg behind, open the feet, walk back. Now for some of you, you come back here and you're like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. But I left my blocks at the back of my mat. So can you sit on a block if you need it? Or two. Or do you need to take your right leg out from underneath you? Whatever works for you today. And we hold here. And some of us may take our fingertips behind the back. Try not to lift your bottom off the floor. Others will go a little deeper. Hands in front and bow over that thigh. Meet me in plank. So when you bring yourself forward, come into plank. Power Vinyasa if you'd like. Lower to crocodile, lift up dog, hinge back, hold down dog. You float the left foot off the earth, three-legged. Flex the foot, bend the knee, roll the hip open, not the shoulder. Setting up to stay here, come into tiger. Bring the right knee down like you're in table. Then if you want, pick the right arm up, circle it back, find the foot or wave to it. As the hand releases, we set up for cow face. Take the right leg across, left knee behind. Open the feet, then walk it back. We can find ourselves in the pose differently on each side. Just make sure you're not tipping out the window, like you're sitting heavy into that left sit bone. Stay centered. Hands can be behind. You could be sitting on a block. You can have the left leg out. But whatever you choose, if you want to tip forward, tip forward. If you have the left leg out, you can still tip forward or even use the hands behind the back to stay up top. Whatever you need. Slowly walk the hands into the body. Uncross the legs. Grab your blocks because it's the moment of truth. We are making our way in to elephant trunk pose. So what I want you to do is have your blocks outside your thighs. Extend the right leg. So that leg lifting we were doing, the crossing into the cow face with our legs is to open up our hips, the outer hips just a little bit more. So we can hold here. And what I want you to do is with your knee bent, your leg out straight, first mock what the pose is going to look like. And if you're not sure what elephant trunk pose is, if you're joining for the first time or you've just never heard it called this before, it's this lift. And if your first thought is, I can't do that, let it go. So we break it down. So keep your leg here. Keep your right leg straight. Push and lift. Push and lift. Now, lift the leg. Lift, lift. If you're like, I can do that, then you're already on your way to the pose. The next phase is to stretch the hip. If you are tight, you may want to lean back, cross the ankle over the thigh, and start to bend your knee. This may be as far as the pose goes for you. If your knee is pulling in, wait time for it to open out. All right, those of you that have the flexibility, grab the foot and rock and roll. So we want to open and close that hip a few times, priming it. And then for some of us, we're going to send the knee back. And we're going to hold right here in that baby as far as we go. Some of you, your knee isn't very far, it's right here. And maybe you need time to grow your practice to get here. But I didn't open my hip to do this. We got to keep our hips square. Then what I want you to do is take your left arm underneath the left leg. So the tricep is supporting your calf. And you're going to hug your knee to your shoulder, shoulder to the knee. You're like, yeah, but I can't get my knee higher than my elbow. Then practice holding there. Now, let's lift our butt, come down, lift our leg, come down. You can't hold this leg up. I need you to pull your abs in tighter to help this leg stay up. Lift the hips, lift the leg. Lift the hips, lift the leg. Stay there or take your lift up with everything. Lift up. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath, and then we come down. We release. Sometimes our wrists aren't happy, so we can pretend we're flicking water off our fingers, or we can shake them out. Again, you can set yourself up here, lift and lower, or lift and lower. See what you need. The next phase for some of you is to come here, pressing the knee away from your chest. I know I'm moving a little faster on this side, but it's just a recap. You can rock and roll here. We can pull the leg back and hold. We can take the leg over the arm, and we're going to hug that leg in. First, all I want you to do is make sure you can hold that leg up. If not, it's going to pull you down and weight into your shoulders, and that's the last thing we want to do. But I need you to make sure you're hugging your knee to your shoulder, shoulder to the knee. Get that counter pressure to each other. Then rock and roll, right? Butt, leg, bottom, leg, and you can stay there, which can get tiring, but it's going to build your strength. Or you can lift and hold, whether you're on blocks or on the floor. Here we go, lift. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath, pull your belly button to your spine, and then come on down. If you feel you were going to get a cramp in either quad, then come out of the pose and just bounce those legs. Do something. Sometimes the longer you hold the pose, the more likely it's just going to keep tightening up. So just make sure it's not a hydration issue where you needed to drink more water, because that can be an indicator as well. Let's go ahead and make our way into some stretches. So go ahead and keep the legs out nice and long. I always have a belt handy as an example. If you need the belt, use the belt to the ball of your feet. If you would rather go a little deeper and take the blocks to the soles of the feet, it is up to you. But notice, are you slouching here? If you are, do you need to bend your knees or do you need to reestablish sitting tall? And if you can stay here, stay here. If you can lift up, come up and over. Using your belt, you can hold your belt. You can let your hands release, or you can grab for that block. Let your head and neck relax. On your next inhale, release wherever you're at. If you have props, move them off to the side, rising up. What I want you to do is take a stretch here to open the chest and shoulders. Fish pose. So we're going to bend our knees to start. And I want you to sit on your hands. Now, if you have a ponytail in or like me, a bun, sometimes it gets in the way, but you're going to lean back onto your elbows. And some of you are going to lift the chest and look up. That's as far as you are going to go. Others, notice how I'm going to start to tip back so the top of my head can get to the floor. So start to tip back, arch back, and then straighten the legs. For some, this will feel wonderful. For others, you're uncomfortable. Find your level of ease. Wherever you're at, start to lift and bring your chin to your chest, and then slowly release your body all the way to the mat. Once you're there, lift your hips, move your arms out from under. I want you to take your left ankle over your right thigh for figure 4. You can place your hand on the inner thigh to help start to open that knee, butt into the outer hip. Others, you're going to lift the knee over the hip for the right leg, and others are going to do reclining pigeon. So as we start to hug the legs to the body, keep your knee pressing open. Some of us like to hold at the right behind the kneecap, and that's fine. Others, it's at the hamstring. As we take half happy baby, I want you to take your left hand to the outside of the left foot, hold the foot, send your right foot down. Start to open that knee outside your ribs. If you can, bring your foot over your knee. Now you may have to change your grip to your hamstring, your calf, your ankle. Let's see what works for you. Both hip bones are aiming up to the sky. If you're straightening the right leg, it's a hover of the heel off the floor. Keep your back neutral. As you bring the right knee in, release your left foot down, cross the ankle over the thigh, open up the knee. If you need your hand at the inner thigh for this figure 4, stay here. If you want to take the figure 4 up a little bit, bring the left knee over the hip. And then a little bit more bounding the pose. And see where it feels best. Watch those knees, they like to roll. Keep your knees aiming up to the sky, so we're working with a flat back against the mat. Setting up for half happy baby, release that left foot down. Hold the right foot and start to move your knee outside your rib cage. Then if you can, move your foot over your knee. Staying here with a little pressure down. Hamstring, calf, ankle, it is up to you. If you're extending the leg, I need you to hover that heel. As we come into this variation of reclining bound angle, bring the left knee in and try to bring the soles of the feet together. If you can hold the outer blades of the feet, stay there. Some of you may drop your heels down, pressing your knees away. Others may keep the feet high. It just depends on what you can do. For a little variation here, you can kick the left leg out. Come back in, kick the right leg out. Come back in one more time each side. And come in, other side. And come back in. Let's give a nice big hug of those legs. Let our feet release to the earth. Place your hands on your stomach and let's do a little ratio breathing. It'll be an inhale for 4. And your exhale will keep changing until we get to 8. So just let your hands rest on your stomach. Here we go. Inhale.